Jagata Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much for coming. We have been having the Nectarian classes, and today is the bonus class for all of us. Wonderful class. Just before Narasimha Chaturdashi, Maharaj is here. Bhakti Vighna Vinashak Maharaj. So he is here to bless us all so that we can very nicely celebrate tomorrow's Narasimha Chaturdashi. So Maharaj, has been initiated by Srila Prabhupada. He is a Srila Prabhupada disciple in 1971 in London. He immediately received a second initiation after a year, and over the last 25 years or more than that, he's been traveling to various countries and doing preaching. So he's been traveling to China, Philippines, Taiwan, Singapore, again UAE. He has been frequently visiting UAE also, blessing us all. He is a very well-known faculty in Mayapur Institute, and has been, many of us who are doing Bhakti Shastri and Bhakti Vaibhav has received Maharaj Association and his teachings. So we are very, very happy to welcome Maharaj here again in Avataridesh. And on behalf of Bahurup Narsingh Prabhu, we all want to invite Maharaj here and chant 3 times nicely welcoming Maharaj. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. I request Chaitanya Bhagavan Prabhu to Prahlad Maharaj.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Narayanam Namaskrityam
Narayanam Namaskrityam
Naram Chaiva Narottamam
Naram Chaiva Narottamam
Devim Sarasatim Vyasam
Devim Sarasatim Vyasam
Tato Jayamudiraya
Tato Jayamudiraya
Yastaprayeshu Pabhadreshu
Yastaprayeshu Pabhadreshu
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya
Bhagavati Uttama Shloke
Bhagavati Uttama Shloke
Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki
Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki.
So as we all know, tomorrow is a very auspicious day of Nishringa Chaturdasi. Everyone's okay in English? Do we need translation?
English should be, 90% English.
My English is quite simple. Anyway, there's a nice verse in Srimad Bhagavatam in the 5th canto where different regions, first of all, different regions of Jambu Dweep, they're worshipping different incarnations of the Lord. In one of the regions, they're worshipping Lord Nrsingadev, and the residents there are led by Prahlad Maharaj in his worship. And there's a beautiful verse there, which is very nice to discuss. So I thought we'll speak on this verse. Om Namo Bhagavate Narasimhaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Narasimhaya.
Namaste Jas Tejase.
Namaste Tejase.
Avirbhava.
Avirbhava.
Brajanaka Brajadamstra.
Vajradamsta.
Karmashraya Randaya Randaya.
Karmashraya Randaya.
Tamo Grasa Grasa.
Tamo Grasa Grasa.
Om Shrum.
Om Shrum.
So the Prahlad Maharaj and the residents in that region of Jambudvip, they're praying to Lord Nrsingadev that, "O my Lord Nrsingadev, who possesses nails and teeth like thunderbolts, kindly vanquish our demonic-like desires for fruitive activities. Please appear in our heart and drive away our ignorance so that we can become fearless in our struggle for existence in this material world." So the residents, headed by Prahlad Maharaj, are praying to Lord Nrsingadev, and they're describing that form of Lord Nrsingadev, that he possesses nails and teeth like thunderbolts. Of course, when he killed Hiranyakashipu, he displayed his nails and teeth. He ripped apart Hiranyakashipu. So this prayer is very significant for us to understand how we should approach Lord Nrsingadev. Prahlad Maharaj and the residents of Harivamsa, they're praying to Lord Nrsingadev that you possess nails and teeth like thunderbolts. Lord Nrsingadev used his nails, of course, to rip Hiranyakashipu. And when he ripped apart Hiranyakashipu, he took out his intestines and put them around his neck for a flower, just like a flower garland, a garland of intestines. So in this way, Lord Nrsingadev is very fearful to those who are not devotees. Lions are fearful, but for the cubs, they're not afraid of the lion. They've taken shelter of the lion. And similarly, Prahlad Maharaj and the devotees of Lord Nrsingadev, they do not fear Lord Nrsingadev because they have taken shelter of him. But to those who are not devotees, then Lord Nrsingadev is very fearsome. So Lord Nrsingadev appears in this world, just like Lord Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, why he comes in this world. Yada yada hi
Dharmasya glamir bhavati bharata adbhutanam dharmasya tadhanam sijamyam.
Good, yes, right. He comes to give pleasure to his devotees, like Prahlad Maharaj. And at the same time, he comes to annihilate the miscreants, the demons, like the father of Prahlad Maharaj, Hiranyakashipu. So Lord Nrsingadev is very fearsome to those who are not surrendered to him. But for those who have taken shelter of him, then he is the source of great pleasure. Prahlad Maharaj and the residents of Harivamsa all worship Lord Nrsingadev, and they pray to him, kindly vanquish our demonic-like desires for fruitive activities. Usually, when people go to temple or go to mosque or church, whatever, they pray to God, they have some material desires. They go to God to ask for something. We want money, we want position, we want success, we want all the opulence of the material world, and we may go to God and pray to him for these things. So the Lord hears these prayers, but they're not very pleasing to him. Just like yourself, as parents, if you have children, your child, if they always come to you, Mommy, can you get me new iPhone? Can you get me new computer? Can you get me a car? Can you get me the motor scooter? And if every day they come and ask you for these things, you won't be very happy. So just imagine how the Lord feels. Everyone is praying to him. Oh Bhagwan, oh Bhagwan, you know. And we have a big list, like we watch shopping, like you go in the store, I would give me this and give me that and that. And so we go to the Lord and we pray to him for these things. So that is not the mode of pure devotion. And that is not very pleasing to the Lord also. Because the Lord is a person. Just as we are persons, there's certain things we like, certain things we don't like. The Lord is also a person. He likes certain things don't please him. So Prahlad Maharaj knows how to please the Lord because he's the Lord's devotee. Actually, Prahlad comes from the spiritual world. He's a resident of Vaikuntha, but he comes to this world to take part in the pastimes of the Lord. So Prahlad Maharaj shows us how we have to pray to Lord Nrsimhadev, that we pray to him, please take away our desires for fruitive activities. We want to come to the level of pure devotion, not mixed devotion, but pure. Mixed devotion means we have some devotion, we have some feeling, some love for the Lord, but we have a lot of other desires also. And so we're asking the Lord to help us, to give us. So that is not the mode of real devotion. We want to cultivate the mode of pure devotion, right? Rupa Goswami describes pure devotion. Anya Bilas Sunyam Jnana Tava Anukulyana Bhakti Rupamam, right? Pure devotional service means without any desire for fruitive gain, which means to enjoy the material world. And we also don't want philosophical speculation, which may lead to jnana, which may lead to impersonal liberation, entering into the Brahmajyoti and becoming one with the Supreme. So those two things are rejected by the pure devotees. Rupa Goswami also describes pure devotional service. He said, Sarv upadi vinirmuktam tad paradvena nirmalam rishikesha rishikena sevanam bhaktir uchate. He's saying, give up all designations, upadis. Upadis in the material world, we're fond of designations, right? Somebody's the manager, somebody's the boss, somebody's, you know, the Ishwara. We want to be, we like these designations. If you can become get the position, then that gives some pleasure to people. But pure devotional service means you give up these designations. We designate ourselves. We're thinking, I'm Indian. We're thinking, I'm foreigner. We're thinking, I'm man, I'm young, I'm old. These are all designations. But these designations are all in relation to the body, right? The body. And the body is the thing we are not. We're not the body. We're living in the body, but we're not the body. We have to use this body, however, we're meant to use it in the service of Rishikesh. Rishikesh meaning Lord Krishna, the Supreme Lord. So we have senses. He's given us the senses. They're meant to be used for his service. So Prahlad Maharaj, as a devotee of the Lord, he understands all of these things. Therefore, he prays to Lord Nrsimhadev, kindly vanquish our demonic-like desires for fruitive activity. Now you have to understand, we cannot stop desire, but we can purify desire. We can have a higher level of desire. Instead of just desiring for the body, we want to desire for the soul. Come to the spiritual platform. Know what we should desire for the pleasure of Lord Krishna. How to please Him. Lord Krishna is pleased by devotion. Prahlad Maharaj has devotion, and that is what pleases Lord Nrsingadev. After Lord Nrsingadev had killed Hiranyakashipu, Prahlad Maharaj came before Lord Nrsingadev. Now Prahlad was the son of the demon who Lord Nrsingadev had just killed. But that person who Lord Nrsingadev killed was going to kill Prahlad. He was going to kill his own son. Sometimes fathers get angry at the son, right? I'll kill you. So Hiranyakashipu was in that mood, you know, he was waving his sword, and he said, I'll cut your head off, because Prahlad was speaking to his father about worshipping Vishnu. And that made him very angry. It made his father very angry, because his father considered Vishnu to be the enemy. Now Prahlad had always been telling his father that you shouldn't be making these distinctions. Like we were saying, upadhis, designation. We make distinction, friend, enemy. This is my friend, he's my enemy. This is not the good consciousness. Yeah, Prahlad was telling his father like that the Guru, because his father had put him in the Gurukula. He sent him to the school for the training of the demons, to make you a good demon, to grow up to be a good materialist, right? And part of the training was how to deal with your enemies. And how do you deal with, how do people deal with their enemies? We see it in the world today. You know, somebody's, you know, politicians, if the other person's the enemy, they'll have him, they'll try to put a bad name on him, they'll say bad things about him, and they'll criticize him. They may even put him in jail. And sometimes they do that, right? The opposition leaders are arrested and put into prison. And sometimes they may even be killed if the person who's ruling gets his way. He wants to kill his enemies. This is described by Lord Krishna in Bhagavad Gita when he describes the divine nature and the demoniac nature. Those who are asuras, they're thinking like that. They're thinking, Ishwaraham, that I am the controller. They want to be the controller. They think they are the controller. And ahambogi, I am the enjoyer. We all want to enjoy. Everyone's trying to enjoy. We're all trying to control. We have that mood in the material world. And that is the demoniac nature. We want to overcome that. But those who are materialistic, they live for that. That is their goal, to be the controller, to be the enjoyer. Ishwaraham ahambogi siddhoham balavam sukhi. Siddho, I have powers, I'm very powerful, I have siddhis, right? The people are thinking like that. Hiranyakashipu, the father of Prahlad, was like that. And he did have siddhis. He was very powerful. He conquered heaven. So Siddhoham Balavam Sukhi. Bala, he's very strong. And Sukhi, he's happy. He's thinking, yes, I am the controller, I am the... So he's happy thinking like that. This is the foolishness of the materialists. Although they're suffering so much, They're always thinking, well, I'm happy, I'm enjoying. One devotee, he brought his mother to meet Prabhupada. And the lady came in, she was a middle-aged lady, you know, and she came to meet Prabhupada, and it was New York, and it was summertime. And she came in and she said, oh, Swamiji, it's so hot out there today. You know, today we also saw so hot, you know, so hot just now. Coming to the summer, getting hotter, right? So very hot. And so she was saying like that. So Prabhupada began to speak to her about how there's so much suffering in the world. That yes, it's so much suffering. We're suffering so much. We suffer the heat, we suffer the cold, right? Maybe you know that song we sing, Bhaja Hari Mana, right? Sita Atapa, Bhatta Vareshana, Edina Jamini Jagire. Chapala Sukalaba, Etan, Sita Apata, Bhatta Vareshana, Edina Jamini Jagire. Bipale Sevino, Kripana Durajana, Chapala Sukalaba Lagiri. Right? We tolerate so many difficulties. The heat, the cold, the rain, right? Did you get rain like Dubai?
Too much.
You got too much rain here? Yeah. More than you get in one day, you got what you get in 2 years. So that is, you see, suffering. We're suffering so much. It's so hot, so much rain, and still we've got to work. You know, but where are you? Why are you not at work? You know, like that. So we have to work for all of these usually wicked and miserly people. And why? We're working for Chapala Sukha, flickering happiness. So Prabhupada was telling the devotee's mother, we're suffering so much. And so, because she was talking, it's so hot, and oh, it's so hot. And so Prabhupada said, yeah, we're suffering so much. And then she said, no, we're not suffering. We're not suffering. I'm happy. Prabhupada, just a minute ago you were saying how you were suffering. Now you're saying you're happy. This is the material world, people. We're thinking we're happy, even we're in the most miserable condition. It's told that Indra, the king of heaven, he made a great offense against Brihaspati. So Brihaspati was very angry with him. He cursed him to become a pig, and he had to enter into a pig's body. And he was living in the pigsty with all the pigs. So Brihaspati left him there in the pigsty for some time, and then he came back and said, all right, Indra, now you come back. Now you've been here long enough. But Indra said, no, I'm happy here. I like it here. Every day the farmer brings big buckets of big food, and I'm happy. I have my family here, all my pigs are here. He's thinking, I don't want to go. Even we're in the most horrible situation, we're thinking it's okay. And so then Brihaspati said, oh, you want to stay, is it? So he went, he brought the butcher with a big knife. And the butcher said, oh, where's that big fat pig? That was Indra. Indra said, oh, you know. He came running, save me, don't chop me up. So he went back. But this is material life, like that. We don't realize how much we're suffering constantly. But still we're thinking, oh, life is not so bad, you know. So Prahlad Maharaj, he praised the Lord Nrsingadev that we're in this material world, we're suffering because of ignorance. So he said, kindly vanquish our demonic-like desires for fruitive activity. Please appear in our heart and drive away our ignorance, so that we might become fearless in our struggle for existence in the material world. Fearing is something which we often have. We're often afraid, you know. We live in constant fear of of course, when there was COVID, we were all fearful, oh, I'll get COVID, and of course many of us did get COVID, and you know, it's a fearful situation when there's a pandemic, or when there's an earthquake, or there's a typhoon, maybe terrible heat wave. I was just in Thailand, we had a heat wave, no rain for months and months. It was so hot and dry. So we live in fear of all of this material existence. We're in fear of disease, we're in fear of old age, and we're in fear of death. So that is the nature of the material world. How do we overcome that fear? We have to become Krishna conscious. We have to take shelter. Just like Prahlad, he takes shelter of the Lord. He's a devotee, and Lord Nrsingadev comes to protect him. So in the same way, if we also take shelter of the Lord, then no fear can disturb us. A devotee of the Lord surrenders to the Lord. He's not afraid of the material existence because he knows he's in the hands of Krishna. We live by the grace of Krishna, and when Krishna wants us to go, we will leave the world. We say, Mare Krishna Rake Ke? Right. If we want to live, if Krishna wants us to live, nobody can kill, and if Krishna wants us to die, nobody can save us. So a devotee surrenders to Krishna. It just depends on Krishna. How do we surrender to Krishna? We have to take the shelter of Krishna's devotees. Dandaracharana Seva, Bhakta Sanivas, Janame Janame Hoy. Ah, yes, right. We may always have the association of the devotees, birth after birth. So that's important for us. And Prahlad Maharaj teaches us like that we should take the shelter of the association of the devotees. Because in the association of devotees, there will be discussion of the Lord and his wonderful pastimes. Prahlad Maharaj was always telling his friends in the Gurukula that why waste so much time playing games, football, this game, that game. Now, you know, people play the game, mobile phone, the whole day games, you know, it becomes a big problem. In China, they have banned the mobile phone for children under a certain age, and they're only allowed 1 or 2 hours in a week to use it. So they're so worried about the effect it's having on them. So Prahlad Maharaj was telling his friends also, they weren't really his friends, but they were in the same Gurukula, and they were from demoniac families like Prahlad. And Prahlad tells them that we waste this valuable human life. We spend so many hours sleeping every night, right? If you sleep half the day, then if you live to be 100, you've slept 50 years. Lord Chaitanya went to Gaya and got initiated by, who was the guru? Ishwarapuri. Came back from Gaya and he went to Kanai Natsala. And in Kanai Natsala he had wonderful experience. Krishna had appeared and he had this experience with Krishna. Then he came back to Mayapur and he called all the devotees and he said, we have to have kirtan. And he said, let us not sleep at night anymore. Let us just have kirtan all night. And they would go to Srivas Pandit's home, and every night they would have kirtan in his home. They wouldn't sleep anymore. Sometimes we do like that. When Prabhupada was very sick, we would also do a Khanda Kirtan, 24-hour non-stop Kirtan. Just like they're doing in Krishna Balaram Mandir and in Mayapur, they're doing non-stop Kirtan, Akhanda Kirtan. So nowadays, Srila Jayapataka Swami Maharaj's health is not very good, not good condition. He wants us to pray for him. He wants us to do more Kirtan, more chanting, more hearing, more katha. He said that will help him to keep living more in this world, to stay with us. So we can have that mood to do more Kirtan. And certainly tomorrow, being an auspicious day, we want to spend time there to chant the names of the Lord, to chant more rounds, and to try to hear the katha. So are you having a big program here tomorrow night?
Yeah, house program.
And there will be a big program we're having in Dubai at the Sindhi Hall. They'll have a program there, do Abhishek, a lot of katha, a lot of kirtan. This is how we celebrate the appearance of the Lord. Janmashtami, Gaur Purnima, Ramnavami, these are all auspicious days. And so similarly, Nrsimha Chaturdashi is a very important day for the devotees. The day in which Lord Nrsimhadev appears to bless his devotee. Prahlad Maharaj, as a young boy, he came before Lord Nrsimhadev. Everyone else was afraid. Even Lakshmi, his consort, she said, I've never seen him like this. He was so angry, you know. Sometimes you may say like that about your husband. I never saw him so angry. You become afraid. So Lakshmi was afraid to go near Lord Nrsimhadev. So Lord Brahma said to Prahlad, you try, you see if you can calm him down, Prahlad. And Prahlad came forward and offered obeisances. And then when he stood up, Lord Nrsimhadev put his lotus hand on his head and filled him with Divya Gyan, spiritual knowledge. And so in this way, Prahlad Maharaj was able to offer nice prayers to Lord Nrsimhadev. And Prahlad Maharaj begins in a very humble way when he prayed to Lord Nrsimhadev. Qualification of a devotee is to be humble. Just like in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishna Das Kaviraj is writing, and he says, Jagai Madai Haite Munishe Papishta, Purushera Kita Haite Munishe Lagista. He's saying, I am more sinful than Jagai and Madhai. Anyone who utters my name, they will become sinful. And anyone who hears about me, they'll lose their pious activities. He said, I'm so fallen. Only Lord Nityananda's mercy could deliver such a fallen soul. So in this way, Krishna Das Kaviraj prays. And this evening also I was singing Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu, Narottam Das Thakur. He also prays in a similar way. He said, Patita Pavana Hetu Tapa Avatara, Mosamo Patita Prabhu Napayena. That you are Patita Pavan, Lord Gauranga is Patita Pavan. He's come to save the fallen souls. Narottam says, I am very fallen. Please save me, because I am a very fallen soul. Narottam is a great devotee, but he's so humble. The more one is devotee, the more one thinks, I'm not a devotee, I have no devotion. So humility is a very important quality of devotees. And we are also encouraged to be humble. Lord Chaitanya spoke, Shikshastikam Trinadapi Sunichena
Tarorapi Sarishuna Amani Navanadena Kirtaniya Sarari.
How humble we should be. We should think of ourselves lower than a straw in the street. Because the spirit soul is very small. What's the size of the soul? 1/10,000 of the tip of the hair. So our ego should be in proportion to our spiritual dimension, right? But we're thinking, I'm 5'8", 5'10", whatever, you know. We identify with the body. So that is ahankar, that is false ego. But true ego is to think, I am a very tiny spirit soul, part and part, very small, insignificant. And in this way, we should offer all respects to others. Amanena manadena, offering respects to others and not being anxious to get any respect for ourselves. Similarly, in the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna is speaking about the qualities of one who is in knowledge. And he points, what are the very first things he mentions, the first qualities of one in knowledge? He says, pridelessness. Yeah. Yes. Pridelessness and humility. These are the first two things he mentions. For one in knowledge. We're thinking knowledge you get in the college, go to university, get a degree. Oh, I have so much knowledge. I am BSc, PhD, whatever. Now everyone goes to study. We're thinking that's not. But the real knowledge is to understand that I'm a very low person. I'm a soul. I'm not the body. That is the real education. And Prahlad Maharaj, he's explaining these things to the other boys who are his classmates there in that Gurukula for the demons, training them to become good rulers and controllers. But Prahlad is telling them, we should understand our real identity as spiritual beings, not as the body. That is the ignorance to think I am the body. So Prahlad Maharaj, he understood his spiritual identity, and he prays to Lord Nrsingadev that he can always take the shelter of the association of devotees. And especially he says, I never want to give up my spiritual teacher. Prahlad said, I was falling into a dark well, but my spiritual teacher came and he gave me instructions and saved me from that condition. He said, how could I ever give up my connection with that person? So Prahlad Maharaj was appreciating how he got mercy. He got mercy from Narada Muni. Narada Muni had instructed his mother, but Prahlad, because he was in the womb of the mother, he was also hearing, and he took advantage of that knowledge. And he vowed, I can never give up. How I could ever give up such association. Just like Srila Prabhupada also said about his own spiritual teacher, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati. He said, he saved me. He said like that, Prabhupada said about his guru, that he saved me. So Prahlad Maharaj is saying the same thing, that I was falling into a well because of all my material desires. Material life is like that. It's like falling into a well. It's very difficult to get out when you go in the well. If you fall in the well, it's not easy to get out, is it? When we do parikrama, Brajamandal parikrama, if you go to Braja and parikrama there, and you go in the fields there, then one time one devotee fell in the well. He actually fell in the well. And he was a big devotee, you know, he was quite a big size. So it was really difficult to get him out of the well. and bones were broken and fractures. Oh my goodness. It took the whole day practically to get him out of the well. So material life is sometimes like that, like falling into a well. How do you get out the well? Well, we throw the rope, right? Pass it, give the rope down. And then you have to hold the rope. You want to get them out. The person in the bottom of the well is saying, "Get me out, get me out." We say, "Hold the rope. Just get me out." Hold the rope, Prabhu. If you hold the rope, you know, just get me out. I don't want to hold the rope. You know, how we can get? Cannot. You must hold the rope. The same way, what is the rope? To get out of this material life, to get out of this well of attachment, the rope is the instructions of the spiritual teachers. The spiritual teachers tell us how we can get out of this well of attachment. We have to follow these instructions. This is sadhana bhakti, right? We do sadhana practice. We chant the holy name. We worship Krishna. And we read the books about Krishna. In this way we can become Krishna conscious and we can get out of that well of material existence. So Prahlad Maharaj says to Lord Nrsingadev, he said, "I am not afraid of the material world." He said, I can go anywhere. For a devotee who has taken shelter of the Lord, heaven and hell and liberation are all the same. Because wherever the devotee goes, he will chant the holy name and he will worship Krishna and read the books about Krishna. There's no difference, you know, where you go. It's what you do which is important when you go there. So Shastra says, Narayana parasarve nakutaschinya vibyate swarga apavarga narakesh vapitu yatatarshana. If you've taken shelter of Lord Narayan, there's no difference between heaven and hell. So Prahlad said, I'm not afraid of these places. Prahlad is coming from the hellish planets. He's living in the lower region of the universe with the demons. That's where they live. But Prahlad said, wherever I go, I can remember the Lord. I can chant His glories. So it doesn't worry me. It's not a problem. But he said, I am concerned for those people who don't know anything about the Lord, who are making plans to be comfortable here in this material world. He said, I'm concerned with love for them because he knows they'll never be successful. We make plans trying to be comfortable, to make a nice situation here in this world, and suddenly it's all taken away from us. Prahlad Maharaj said, I don't want anything from Lord Nrsingadev. I'm not asking for anything. Because he said, I've seen my own father. His own father was the king of heaven. He conquered Indra, he conquered the heavenly planets. He was ruling everywhere. And just the movements of his eyebrows would terrorize the demigods. They'd all be afraid of him. But he said, I have seen that my father, while he had so much power, he lost everything in a moment. All gone, all finished. That is material life. When I became a devotee in England, in 1971 it was, I remember what happened. There was one country in Africa, Uganda, and there were people living there in Uganda, many Gujarati, like that. And what happened was this one man, Idi Amin or someone, yeah, he came in power and he told all the Indian people, get out, and leave everything behind. Don't take anything with. And they all had to come. They were, of course, Uganda was a British colony, So they had British passports, so they came to London. And I was in London at the time with the Hare Krishna movement. I remember they all came from Uganda. They came there to London with nothing. They had to leave everything. Yeah, sometimes it's like that, you know. And sometimes, of course, you don't know when we're going to have to leave this world. At any moment, it can all be just like Prahlad's father. Prahlad saw his father was so powerful, but next minute he was dead. So Prahlad said, why should I endeavor for something in this material world? It's temporary. It's going to be finished with the body. So many big men had big empires. Hitler was conquering Europe, and Napoleon, he also tried to conquer Europe before Hitler. There were so many great men. There was also Subhash Chandra Bose. He was also Indian Independence Army. Where are they all now? With the course of time, we're all removed, right? So Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, time I am, destroyer of the world, and I come to claim all men. And Lord Krishna, of course, tells Arjuna, except for you Pandavas, everyone's going to be removed from the world. Bhishma, Drona, Karna, everyone finished. Krishna was showing Kala Rup, his form of time, to Arjuna. So Arjuna, rather Prahlad, he understood these things, and he was not in any illusion about the material world. And so he just simply asked Lord Nrsingadev, he said, if you want to bless me, then kindly bless me that in my heart there will be no material desires, no desires for enjoying this world. Just bless me that I can always have the shelter of your lotus feet and be engaged in your service. That is the real goal of my life. So Lord Nrsingadev, of course, was very happy with Prahlad. And Prahlad was worried about his father. Maybe, he said, I just worry about my father because he's such a demon. And maybe he's gone to hell. But Lord Nrsingadev said, no. He said, because you're a devotee, so everyone in your family, all your forefathers, and all their descendants, they will all be liberated from the material world. Because you're a pure devotee. So you also must become pure devotees, and in this way you can also deliver your families. Hare Krishna. Any questions? How are we doing on time? What's the time?
8:40.
Hare Krishna. So Krishna consciousness is very natural. It's a process. You follow the process, you get the results. Prahlad Maharaj is describing to us, what is this process? Hearing, chanting, remembering. Prahlad, he's our Acharya in Smaranam. He always remembers the Lord. If we want to remember, first we have to hear and we have to chant. And then it will be natural to remember. So we're speaking about Prahlad Maharaj and how Prahlad is one of the great devotees. He's one of the authorities in Bhakti Yoga. He's one of the Mahajans. There are 12 Mahajans. You know?
Yes.
Swayambhu Narada, Shambhu, Kumar, Kapalo, Manu, Prahlado, Janako, Bhishma, Baliya, Vyasaki, Yam. Yes. So Prahlad is one of the Mahajans. And he teaches us Smaranam, remember Krishna. In Brihad Bhagavatamrita, Narada Muni is searching for the devotee who received the greatest mercy from the Lord. So at one point, Narada Muni hears about Prahlad. That Prahlad is a great devotee. The Lord came to protect him from his demoniac father. And the Lord personally killed Prahlad's father so that Prahlad would be saved and Prahlad could become the king. So Narada Muni was thinking, oh, Prahlad is a great devotee, I should go. And he went to find Prahlad, and he went to this place in Jambudvip, Harivamsa, where Prahlad was living, and he told Prahlad, you are the greatest devotee, you are the greatest devotee. And Prahlad said, me? You must be joking. No way, I'm not a great devotee. And he said, no, come on. He said, I'm not a good devotee. But Narada was saying, no, you're a great devotee. Lord Nrsingadev came to protect you, did so much. So he killed your father, he protected you from all the danger. But Prahlad said, I never did anything for the Lord. He may have done that for me, but I never did anything for him. All I do is remember him. He said, you should go and find those devotees who actually serve him. He said, they're great devotees, they're much better than me. So like this was Prahlad's mood. He doesn't think of himself to be a great devotee. But it's very important for us to understand his example, his mood. And he does pray, although in that particular instance he was telling Narada, I don't do any service, but he does have a compassionate mood, and he cares about the people suffering in the material world. Prahlad said, I don't like these people who go to the mountains and go to the forest away from the world. They're only thinking of their own liberation. They go into the mountains and they go into the forest. They're thinking about their own liberation, how they can get liberated. He said, that is not very good. He said, I want to be in the cities where all the people are. I want to give them Krishna consciousness. I don't want to go away from the people. I want to go to the people and find them and give them the message of Krishna. And Srila Prabhupada writes about that in his purports in that section of Srimad Bhagavatam. He said our devotees, they shouldn't go away to just a quiet place thinking about their own salvation. And of course, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati also, he described like that. Dushtamani Krishna, Tumi Kishera Vaishnava, Pratishta Nagare Nirjanere, Tava Harinam Kevala Kaitav. What kind of Vaishnava are you? Simply for your own liberation, simply for your own adoration and distinction, you want to sit down and chant the holy name for your own personal satisfaction. You want people to honor you. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati said, this is not Vaishnava. And Prahlad Maharaj also said, he does not think about going away from the world. He said, that is selfish to think about our own salvation. We should think about giving Krishna consciousness to others. And Lord Krishna also says in Bhagavad Gita, Na chatasman manusheshu kaschin me priyakritma. That there's no one more dear than the one who is distributing this message. So Prahlad Maharaj, he thinks like that. He appreciates that mood to give Krishna to others. So tomorrow is the day in which Lord Nrsingadev appears. We want to also take shelter of Lord Nrsingadev and remember his lotus feet and pray to him that that we can also become fearless in our struggle for existence in this material world. Hare Krishna. Yes?
So other than Prahlad Maharaj, when he was in the womb of his mother, he was hearing the pastimes of the glories of the Lord. Apart from that, what made Prahlad Maharaj to become a first-class devotee? What was the qualification of Prahlad Maharaj to make him first-class devotee? How he became a first-class devotee?
He got, first of all, the mercy of Narada Muni. While he was within the womb of his mother, he was able to hear the teachings coming from Prahlad, from Narada. So that was the first step. He was hearing from the pure devotee. Then, after Lord Nrsingadev appeared, Lord Nrsingadev put his lotus hand on the head of Prahlad Maharaj and filled him with Divya Jnana. Srila Prabhupada said this was causeless mercy on the part of Lord Nrsingadev. There are different ways by which one can become perfect. Some people are Nitya Siddhas. They're eternally perfect. They come from the spiritual world. They never forget Krishna. Other people may be Sadhana Siddha. They become perfect by doing spiritual practice, by their sadhana. And other people may get causeless mercy, Kripa Siddha. So Kripa Siddha is very rare. But Prahlad got that Kripa Siddha. He got the mercy of Lord Nrsingadev. And this is how he became such a great devotee. That's one reason. It's also told in the Puranas, it's told that on the day, there was at this particular day, one night, Prahlad in his previous life, he was a very fallen Brahmana. And he had a girlfriend. And they were together. And it turned out the place they had gone to was an old temple, a disused temple. And they were in this place. And they were arguing with each other. And they were not eating anything. Somehow, because they were arguing like that, they didn't want to eat anything. And so they fasted the whole night. And it turned out that night was Nrsinga Chaturdashi. So next life it became Prahlad Maharaj, the Brahmana.
Thank you, Maharaj. Other question, can you give us some glories of ruling of Prahlad Maharaj when he was on the throne and he was ruling the kingdom? So can you give us how he was ruling the kingdom?
Well, I told the prayer which Prahlad Maharaj, which all the residents of the kingdom where he was ruling, which they chanted every day. They would worship Lord Nrsingadev and they would pray to him. You came late, you didn't hear, but the prayer was, "O my Lord Nrsingadev, who possesses nails and teeth like thunderbolts, kindly vanquish our demonic-like desires for fruitive activities. Please appear in our hearts and drive away our ignorance so that we might become fearless in our struggle for existence in this material world."
Yeah, understood, Maharaj. But actually, he was ruling the kingdom, no, Maharaj?
Yes.
But Prahlad Maharaj was ruling the kingdom. Can you give us some his glories of how he was ruling the kingdom?
Well, I told you that like this prayer, he would worship Lord Nrsingadev, and along with all the residents of the kingdom, they would recite this prayer to Lord Nrsingadev. And they would keep that mood. They would not have any fruitive desires. They would simply worship Lord Nrsingadev with pure devotion.
I'll ask one question, Maharaj. Prahlad Maharaj, with all the other demon children, somehow he could manage. But now our children are also, they are they are going in the material world, and sometimes we try to advise them, but they don't like the advice. We tell them, don't go here, don't go there. So they sometimes they tell, oh, you have lived your life, now you have become devotee, and now you are telling. So how to explain to our children, that how we can explain them that, not being like directly Prahlad Maharaj, but follow his instructions so that they don't get involved with such other children.
Well, you should have started it in the beginning, right? Prahlad says, Koma Racharet Pragno Dharmam Bhagavatamya. When they're young boys, they should have got brahmachari training. Put them in the Gurukula for the brahmacharis to control the mind and senses. That would have helped them, made it easier for you. But because you kept them in the material world, you let them get association with all materialistic people, so they've become bewildered and confused. How to help them? You need to pray to Krishna. Try to give them good association. If they can get some association, their lives can be changed, right? They just need to get the right association. And so we had some young boys from Dubai, teenage boys. They went to Chowpatty. They stayed there for brahmachari training. That's also a very good thing. If you can get your boys to go there to Chowpatty for how long? Month or two?
Yeah, they were like 3 months.
3 months, yeah, very good. Get brahmachari training, the best association. Wonderful.
Also, summer camps are there, Maharaj. Many summer camps.
Yeah, summer camps. I myself was on summer tour in Thailand. We took the youth, our youth devotees in Thailand, and we traveled around Thailand with them for a few weeks. Just for a few weeks. Thailand not so big, But it was nice to be with them. It was a break for them also. After they said they didn't want to go home after the tour. They were so happy, enjoying with the devotees. So yeah, we have to try to encourage the children. We're having many programs for the youth, encouraging the youth. And the younger they are, the better. So Prahlad said, Koma, 5 years old, from the beginning of life, they should learn about Krishna consciousness. If we get that training in the beginning, then life can be so different. Not the girls. You girls have to stay at home and get trained up to be good wives, and to cook and to worship the deities, and that's for the ladies. But for the boys, brahmacharya training is good for them. Women should be trained in chastity, the men should be trained in brahmacharya. And then it can be very nice. They can live together peacefully.
Thank you.
Prabhu had a question he asked in Hindi. He said that in Bhagavad Gita it is said that if we do devotional life, then we carry forward and take birth in a devotee's family. But Prahlad Maharaj, although being such a good devotee, how he took birth in a demoniac family?
Well, that is the Leela of the Lord. It was arranged like that. Remember, who are these devotees, these demons? Haranyakashipu. They're Jai and Vijay. They're actually devotees, come from the spiritual world. They've come to take part in the Lord's pastimes. So Prahlad appears in their family. Yeah. Prahlad, it's the arrangement of the Lord. To show the devotion, we have to see the pastime. The Leela Sakti arranges these things. Great devotees sometimes may be put into that situation. Just like in Srimad Bhagavatam, Chitraketu got cursed by Parvati and he became Vritasura, became a big demon, terrible demon. So Prahlad Maharaj, he's a devotee, yeah, he's a great devotee. But why he took birth in that family? So that he could, sometimes the Lord arranges these things. He will put his devotees into these different, so they can give Krishna consciousness. so they can distribute Krishna consciousness to the other people, just so that they can give their mercy, give their association to help these other people also become Krishna conscious. Just like Prabhupada went to America to give Krishna consciousness to others. And Prabhupada saw there were people there, so many young people were there. He said, he could understand, my Guru Maharaj has already arranged to put you here just to help me to spread the message of Krishna. There were young people there who took to Krishna consciousness so naturally that they thought Krishna consciousness is so wonderful. Although they were coming out of American life, but when they met Prabhupada, they completely surrendered and they took up Krishna consciousness. And Prabhupada said that Krishna had, my Guru Maharaj has put you here just to help me to spread Krishna consciousness. And so similarly, Prahlad Maharaj appeared in the demoniac family so that he could influence the demons.
Anybody has question from their backside?
You can speak Hindi if you want, we can have it translated.
हिंदी में कुछ प्रभु जी बताएंगे।
मेरा प्रश्न है कि जैसे पुस्तक जब वितरण करते हैं तो कभी कभी बहुत उत्साहित के साथ करते हैं तो बड़ा अच्छा लगता है, कभी कभी उत्साह घट जाता है, कभी कभी किसी को ऐसे एक दो श्लोक बोलेंगे या कोई स्टोरी सुनाते हैं तो कोई तुरंत ले लेता है, अब किसी को एक्सप्लेन करते करते रहते हैं लेकिन थक जाते हैं फिर भी नहीं लेता है। हाँ, तो ये उत्साह कंटिन्यू बना है पुस्तक वितरण के लिए, इसके लिए क्या होता है?
He is asking that why
Prabhu is asking that when we do book distribution, so sometimes we see we are very enthusiastic and sometimes our enthusiasm just comes down. And also sometimes when we go, people will easily buy books. Sometimes when we'll explain them, try to explain one shloka but nobody will listen. So how to always keep our enthusiasm of good level?
Well, if your enthusiasm is up and down, this is because you're anarthas, you still have some anarthas, some contamination is there in the heart. You have to overcome these dirty things in the heart. Your devotion has to become steady.
महाराज बोल रहे हैं हमारे हृदय में अभी भी अनर्थ होते हैं, इसलिए हमारा उत्साह ऊपर नीचे होता रहता है। तो इन अनर्थों को निकालना होगा अगर हमको एक बराबर का उत्साह बनाए रखना है।
Just like in our chanting of Hare Krishna, it can be like that. Some days, we're very enthusiastic to chant, and other days, we're not eager to chant. Some days we wake up early, some days we don't get up. That irregulation, that is due to our anarthas. We still have some conditioning in the heart, some attachment to material enjoyment. So we have to overcome that by practice of bhakti. It will take some time. You have to keep trying.
तो आपको प्रयास जारी रखना है। ऐसा हम देखते हैं हमारे जप के साथ भी होता है, कभी हम उत्साहित होते हैं जप करने के लिए, कभी उत्साहित नहीं होते हैं, कभी सुबह जल्दी जाग जाते हैं जप करने के लिए, कभी सो जाते हैं। तो ये जो एक बराबर का उत्साह नहीं है भक्ति के कार्य करने के लिए, ऊपर नीचे हो रही अनर्थाओं की वजह से और हमारी भौतिक आसक्ति के वजह से, तो हमें इस भक्ति में लगा रहना पड़ेगा और इन सब अनर्थों को निकालना पड़ेगा, तब जाके हम एक बराबर का उत्साह, एक बराबर का दृढ़ता बना रख सकें।
Last year, the devotee who won the book distribution marathon, he distributed more books in the year than anyone else. He was a Prabhupada disciple. He was 73 years old. And he used to go out, he'd been distributing books for like 50 years. And he never did so big, but somehow this year, he won the marathon. He distributed more books than anyone else.
तो इस प्रकार प्रभु महाराज जी बता रहे हैं कि पिछले साल जिस भक्त में उत्साह, जिस भक्त में पुस्तक वितरण के विषय में जीता था, सबसे ज़्यादा पुस्तकें की थी, वो 73 वर्ष के व्यक्ति हैं। तो ऐसा नहीं है पहले दिन ही किया, वो 50 साल से पुस्तक वितरण कर रहे हैं। और फिर उन्होंने इस पिछले साल जो इनाम था सबसे ज़्यादा पुस्तक वितरण का, वो उनको प्राप्त हुआ। तो हमको लगे रहना है। तो वो 50 वर्ष से पुस्तक किए वितरण, लेकिन अब जाके उनको पिछले साल उनको घोषणा की गई कि इस व्यक्ति ने सबसे ज़्यादा पुस्तकों का वितरण किया है।
So you have to keep going in your own devotional service. You have to just keep going and become steady.
तो आपको जारी रखना है, अपने भक्ति के जीवन में लगे रहना है, जारी रहना है।
That's the most important thing. Tattenu kampam sushamekshamana. Right? One who tolerates all the difficulties but goes on with their service, then they become qualified to become my pure devotee.
तो ये श्लोक है तत्तेनु कंपा सुसमीक्षमाण। तो हमको लगे रहना है और जो भी कठिनाई, जो भी बाधाएं, जो भी तकलीफ आती है भक्ति में, उसको सहना है। तो वो योग्य होता है वापस भगवत धाम जाने।
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. One question came online. They wanted to know, Maharaj, any pastime with Srila Prabhupada?
Well, yeah, Prabhupada, what happened? I was in the Krishna Balaram temple, and it was the midday arti, and so I was doing kirtan, but I just playing the kartals. I was just playing kartals. So Prabhupada was in his room, and he sent his secretary into the temple room and said, when you do kirtan, you must play madanga also, not just Another time in Bombay, we were chanting, Prabhupada was not well. It was 1977, Prabhupada's final year before he disappeared. And so he wanted devotees to come and chant for him. And so we were given very small kartals, and just two of us, just 2 people at a time. We'd sit there and chant for Prabhupada for a half an hour or an hour. So I was with another devotee, and we were chanting, and suddenly the devotee started to chant, instead of Hare Krishna mantra, he started to chant Govinda Jai Jai. And Prabhupada immediately opened his eyes and said, just chant Hare Krishna. So those were some instructions I got from Prabhupada.
Thank you, Maharaj.
So Maharaj, just only one thing, Maharaj, I don't have question, but my heart actually sank, Maharaj, when Prabhu told me about the accident, and I immediately started praying, Maharaj, that by Lord Narasimha's blessing, like we were safe actually. And then I told my mother and everyone, I said, let us go for the program, because in the meanwhile I was also trying to make some arrangement for your drive back to Dubai. And I told one devotee, Abhishek Prabhu, and he also wanted somebody else to go, so we were late, Maharaj. But actually I was praying, and think that it's very, very important actually to have association of great souls, and obviously Prabhupada disciples. So my sincere prayers to Lord, to protect all the devotees, and it was very nice. But I'm very, very happy, Maharaj, that it did not result into any casualty or anything like that. So thank you so much.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So we have prasad for everyone. So yes, everyone can come and take prasad from Maharaj. Others first. Others can come first.
So let us thank Maharaj also by lovingly chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama,